This is Going Deeper. I'm your host, Kathy Harrison Booker. We're studying the book of Revelation. And before I get into today's topic, I'd like to invite those of you who are on Facebook to join me on Friday nights between 7 and 7:30 for a deeper discussion into the material that we haven't been able to cover in these 5 minute or so video blogs. The Friday night sessions will be live, so you'll get immediate responses to questions that you may have, or you'll get information that will lead you in the direction to answer those questions. Additionally, it'll be a chance where you can share with me what you think of the video blogs and how they can be improved. So I'm hoping that you join me during that time. In this session, we are looking at the church at Pergamos. Jesus tells John to write that these things says he who has the sharp two-edged sword. Remember, this is in his mouth. I know your works and where you dwell, where Satan's throne is. So this church is in the midst of turmoil. They're in the midst of the place where Satan has authority to rule and reign. He goes on to say, and you hold fast to my name and did not deny my faith, even in the days in which Antipas was my faithful martyr, who was killed among you where Satan dwells. So Jesus repeats that. He says, this is a place where Satan has authority, and he commends them because he says, in the midst of this debauchery, this place that is basically hell on earth, in the midst of all of this, you've held on to my name. You didn't deny my faith. So he's commending them in this. Even when a martyr from among them, a man from among them was martyred, he said, but I have a few things against you. Now that's interesting because we remember from the church at Smyrna, Jesus didn't have anything against the church at Smyrna. And we're going to find that out with Philadelphia as well. But for Pergamos, he says, I have a few things against you. He starts off by saying, because you have there among you those who hold the doctrine of Balaam, who taught Balak to put a stumbling block before the children of Israel, to eat things sacrificed to idols, and to commit sexual immorality. And this is a story we can find in the book of Numbers, this story of Balaam and Balak, a very interesting account. Jesus is saying, you have people there who not only are they not believers, they purposefully are hindering believers. They're hindering people from becoming believers, and they're trying to lure believers into ungodly activities. He goes on to say, thus you also have those who hold the doctrine of the Nicolaitans, which I hate. The Nicolaitans, we remember we heard about them in the book of Ephesus. So these were also people who persecuted the church. And what Jesus is saying to Pergamos is that he says, even though you hold on to my name, you cling to my name, and you don't deny my faith, you're in the midst of people who do, and you're not doing anything about that. You're allowing them to go forward. In other words, you're compromising my faith. Now you might think, well, wait a minute, Jesus, just because these people, the people who I'm around, maybe the people I work with or some of my friends, just because they do those things, that doesn't mean that I'm doing those things and I'm not, I'm holding on to your name. I'm not denying your faith. They know who I am. Jesus is saying that's not enough. He says, if you're in the midst of them, if you're dwelling there with them, and you're not coming against that, then basically you're compromising the faith. The church at Pergamos was known as the compromising church. So sometimes we might feel justified that we have friends or family members who do certain things and we don't do those things, and we let them know that we're Christians. So we feel justified in that. We feel okay. We've at least let them know what we believe and who we are. But if we're not actively trying to rid them of those things that they're doing, especially people who are coming against other believers, hindering others who would come to Christ, if we're not coming against that, then we're compromising the faith. And so Jesus says to them, he says, repent, or else I will come to you quickly and will fight against them with the sword of my mouth. Now, how horrible would it be for Jesus to have to come and fight against those people? He's saying, I left you there. I expected you to fight against them. But if you don't repent and turn from that, then I'm going to have to come. And it reminds me of a video out that they often show in youth circles. It's called The Letter from Hell. And basically, it talks about two young men. One was saved, the other wasn't. And there's a car accident, and the one who wasn't saved dies, and he goes to hell. And he's so disappointed. He's angry because all this time he spent with his friend, and his friend didn't witness to him. So we don't want to be like that friend. We always want to check ourselves. Are we putting up with things that God hates? I'm hoping that we can talk about this further during our sessions on Friday nights. This has been Going Deeper. I'm your host, Kathy Harrison Booker. Looking forward to seeing you again soon.